Happy Thursday, Open Water Church. I'm so glad you're taking the time to listen to these devotionals. They really mean a lot to us. This is how we're living out practically the things that we do. I'm Pastor Herb. We run the marriage ministry here on Thursday night, and I hope that you'll come out tonight as we are starting a study called Honey, Can We Talk? Based on 10 essential areas of communication in the marriage. And it's tough. That's what I'm going to talk to you about a little bit today. The first thing I want to say is we have tools that people introduce us to. We go to church week after week and we hear things, but we don't do anything with them. That's kind of like for you guys having the most expensive set of Snap-on tools and then just leaving them in the garage to rust, and then taking your car down to the mechanic and spending another $3,000 for him to fix it. Now, what you can do is you can take these tools and build a marriage toolbox for yourself. Find things that work for you. So I'm going to share a few of those with you in a minute, but make sure that you take them out and use them. If you don't use them, they're just useless. So the first thing I want to talk about is negative words. One of the things I had a problem with in our marriage early on was I was very critical, sarcastic, so a lot of my words were negative. And each one of those negative words put a brick in the wall between me and my spouse, my wife, Chris. And these, over time, this wall builds up higher and higher to the point where people give up hope. They feel like there's no use in going on. I can't win here anymore, so I'm just going to stop. God doesn't want that. God hates divorce. He wants you to try. He told you you're going to have trouble in your marriage anyway. It says if a man, in the Bible, it says if a man marries, he's going to have trouble. But the opposite side of that is, in Proverbs, it tells us if a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So our wife is a good thing. Now our challenge is to find out how to treat them like we're supposed to. And that's our responsibility. As the man, we're supposed to lead them in love, like Christ leads the church. So how do we take these negative words, these behaviors that we've learned from our childhood, from broken relationships, and how do we replace them with positive words? Well, it's going to take some work on your part. So I'm going to propose to you that you try one of these four things I'm going to share with you. One, the word shredder. That's where you take the word and sit down with your husband or wife, and you're going to talk about trigger words. Trigger words are those ones that when your spouse says to you, they make you go bananas. You just react horribly. It sets you off and it makes you have all those unhealthy responses that you don't want to have as you're trying to walk closer to the Lord. Talk about them. Pick one or two. Write them down on a piece of paper. Then pray about them. Guys, sit down, grab your wife's hand, pray that God will help you to remove these words from your vocabulary so that you don't want to set your wife off. And I know your wife doesn't want to set you off. So pick a word, a trigger word, focus on that one word. It takes about 30 days of putting a good behavior in place to remove a bad behavior. So practice this on a regular basis. Take this one word that you're promising each other that you're not going to use. Now take it over to the shredder and shred it. If you don't have a shredder, I want you to crinkle it up and throw it away. If you got a match, burn it up, rip it up, tear it up, whatever you have to do. Soak it in water till it falls into little bits. Whatever you do, get it out of your vocabulary and see if that doesn't help improve your communication a little bit. Secondly, time out. This is where we need to say, stop, this conversation is out of hand. But you need to have some rules of engagement in this. So you need to have a safe word. What is the word that is going to allow you to stop the conversation? And men, please do not ever use these words. Honey, you need to calm down so we can talk. No, please don't say that. It almost always has the opposite effect than what you desire. So once you found a way to stop the conversation, go and take a time out. But you have to have an appointed time when you're going to come back, whether that's a day, whether that's 2 hours, whatever it is, agree on that ahead of time. And then men or ladies, be prepared to come back and talk about that thing. So I'm going to leave those 2 points with you. But while you're thinking about it, try to understand how your spouse is coming at this, the perspective that they're looking at this thing from. Remember, they're not wrong. They're just seeing it differently than you are. It's a different perspective, and it is valid. They see it through the filter of their eyes, their life, their pains, their broken situations. So if you try to understand where they're coming from, it's going to help you communicate a little bit better. Then the last, I want to share a third one with you here called Don't Fix Me. When you're speaking to your wife, gentlemen, we have a urge to want to fix whatever's broken for our spouses. We love them and want to protect them and we want to fix things. But The last thing they want to hear is your suggestions about how they can fix the things that they're sharing with you. What they really want is they want you to just listen. Just listen. That's easy to do. In the book of James, it tells us to be slow to wrath, quick to listen, and quick to hear. See, that's the one I struggle with. So we want to take our time to hear what our spouse says, and then we want to maybe repeat it back to them. But whatever you do, don't start trying to fix the situation. Don't offer to go to work and beat up the guy that said something mean to him. Don't offer any of those types of things. Now, if you'll just do these 3 things, I know I offered you a 4th, but I'm running out of time and I want you to have your time back. So God bless you. Use these tools. Have a great rest of your week.